everyone, welcome back to my channel. You're watching my series on how to become a cabin crew. I have already made part 1 on how to ace your digital interview, the online interview with Singapore Airlines especially, where I've talked about what kind of rounds will they be conducting and how should you go about using the software at the same time. If you go through the whole video, you'll be able to see how the Hirevue software works and how you should be going about doing this video interview for yourself. I just wanted to go into a little more detail, especially all of you have been asking me a lot of questions in terms of how should you go about practicing and what is the deadline and things like that. So I'm just going to simplify that for you in this video a little bit more. First and foremost, when you get a call for your video interview, you will get an email from Singapore Airlines which says something like this. And you can see that there is a time mentioned, there is a deadline mentioned, and also if you go down it says practice or interview. So all you need to do is remember that you can practice a lot of times. There is no limitation on the number of times that you can practice with this software. The more you practice, the better it is for you. How you should face the camera, how you should sit, how your angle is, in which angle do you look good when you're facing the camera, because you can either use the phone or you can use your laptop, whichever works better for you. The second thing a lot of you have been asking me is that do I need earphones to do the digital interview? You actually don't have to do that as long as you're sitting in a quiet place. As long as there is not a lot of distraction around you and the camera is able to record you and your voice perfectly, that's good enough. So as I said, the more you practice, the more you will know in terms of how your voice is being recorded, because after each practice session you can record yourself as well. The third question a lot of you have been asking me is that until what time do I have to submit this particular online interview? So the deadline says, for example, June 13, this particular time, so which means that you can actually submit the online interview at any point in time before this date or before this time. It does not mean that you have to specifically do it at this particular time and at this particular date. So I hope this kind of answers all of those few questions that you all have been asking me, especially about the upcoming online interview, which a few of you have on the 13th of June, especially the ones who are from India. So that's the reason I'm making this interview specifically. And the fourth thing that I want to talk about is tell you a little bit about the questions that would be asked, although you will get familiarized with the questions once you attend the practice session, but I'm just going to tell you a little bit more. So remember, in my first video I talked about they'll be asking you maybe 2 random questions and then followed by an essay question, which is going to be followed by you showing yourself in a full length image by stepping back a little bit and making sure the camera captures the whole of you from the top to the toe. So remember to dress appropriately, groom yourself well, because they will be looking at these small details as well. So all you need to do is, once you're done with your final interview, you just need to submit it. The interview should take about 10 to 15 minutes maximum. So once you submit your interview, they will go through the shortlisting process, and once you're shortlisted, they will send you an email to attend the interview in person. Please get in touch with me if you want to know anything. I'm really happy to guide and coach you. I always try my best to answer all your questions, whether it's an email or whether it's YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. Just subscribe to the channel if you still haven't done that, and feel free to follow me on Facebook and Instagram for more updates. I do a lot of personal coaching as well, so do get in touch with me. Just write an email to me on my email address and I'll be happy to answer your questions. So in the meantime, stay pretty, stay happy, stay handsome, and love you guys. Bye.